right, man. Run It Back Philly Sixers post-game live is brought to you by our friends at Bright Medical Technology of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's largest medical supplier and pharmacy, specializing in ambulatory aids like walkers and wheelchairs, oral nutrition, tube feeding supplies, diabetic shoes and glucose monitors, incontinence supplies and catheters. If you're having trouble breathing, Bright Medical specializes in nebulars, inhalers, spacers, and all breathing medications. Maybe the 76ers had trouble breathing because they just scored 15 points in a fourth quarter. 15 points in a fourth quarter. Bright Medical accepts most insurances, services patients of all ages, and delivers anywhere in Pennsylvania, either by hand delivery or UPS. They have a medical staff that speaks 15 languages, and you always speak to a real person, never an automated system. Sometimes I feel like the 76ers coaching staff is not a real person and is an automated system. If you need any medical supplies, just call Bright Medical, and don't forget to mention Run It Back Philly. Go to brightmedi.com. Or call 215-725-MEDS. That's 215-725-6337. Let's get down to business. The Philadelphia 76ers lose to the Boston Celtics 114-98. And here's the thing, man. I've never seen a team. I'm being dead serious. I've never seen a team. And I know they're playing without Joel Embiid and Paul George, but why do we even say that anymore? Because they've been playing without Joel Embiid and Paul George the whole season. I've never seen a team be within 6 to 12 points in a game, but look like they're getting smoked by 40 the whole time. Do you guys understand what I'm saying when I say that? I've never seen a team be within 10 points the whole game, but look like they're getting blown out. I can't even put it into words. It doesn't even really make sense. They just looked like they were getting their asses kicked the entire game. And I would be like, how's it a 9-point game? How's it a 10-point game? How's it a 6-point game? Oh my God, it's a 5-point game. I don't even understand what was happening, unless it was the Boston Celtics taking their foot off the gas, messing around, turning the ball over and things like that. And then as soon as it got chippy, as soon as it got too close for comfort, they put their foot back on the gas and be like, all right, let's get serious. Let's get serious. And then they'd get a stop or an offensive rebound or hit a ridiculous three or whatever. But it's really wild. And the 76ers, they like, can you just lose the game? Because let's be serious. We knew they were going to lose the game. Do this whole hang around 9 points, 8 points, 7 points, 9 points to make us think something crazy might happen in the fourth quarter. Something crazy could happen if they keep it within 10, if they keep it within 7 or 8. Anything could happen, but you really knew it wasn't going to happen because it wouldn't make any sense for it to happen because they really were getting their asses kicked the whole game. I don't know. I hope that makes sense, but that's just how I felt about it. And another thing is, I've never seen a team chip away at a lead, make really good plays to chip away at a lead, and the closer they got to closing the gap, they played worse. Like, they just kept making it a 6-point game and then immediately doing the dumbest shit you would ever see in your life. It felt like they didn't want to win the game. I'm like, they would get close and be like, oh, we didn't want to be this close. You know what I mean? Like, they would just battle back, play defense, share the ball, find the open man, hustle for a board, hustle for a loose ball, offensive rebound, and one finish here, whatever. And they get within 6, and they're like, oh, we didn't want to do that. We were just messing around. We didn't want to win the game. And then they would just do the worst thing you've ever seen. The worst possession I've ever seen in my life watching basketball happen tonight, guys. I'm being dead serious. And there's probably a lot of them. It's probably not true. But one of the worst possessions I've ever seen, all context included, I've ever seen in my life, in my 30 years of watching NBA basketball. The 76ers, like I just said, cut the lead to 6, okay? They just got the ball on a ridiculous VJ Edgecombe inbound save where he dove into the second row and kicked a lady in the side of the head. All right? That just happened. They got the ball because of that. They were down 6. Tyrese Maxey, early shot clock floater, brick. Somehow gets the ball back, leaning inbounds, sprints to the three-point line, shoots a contested three-point shot for no reason, blocked by Neemias Queta. An offensive rebound. VJ Edgecombe, contested 3. Air ball. That has to be top 5 worst possessions I've ever seen in my life watching this game. It's like every time they got close, they just forgot how to play basketball. All strategy went out of the window, and they were just like, I don't know what to do. Just throw it up. Hey, guys, we're within 6 points. What should we do? I don't know. Just throw it up. Just shoot them. Somebody shoot it. I don't know what to do. It was insane. It was insane. And yeah, let's call it what it is. The Sixers weren't supposed to win the game. Being without Joel Embiid again and without Paul George again, and the Boston Celtics being, second seed in the East now and just doing what they're doing this season, and Jaylen Brown being on an MVP list and Derek White being who he is, and, Baylor Shireman being a guy who I didn't even know existed until last year. Still swear he drives a Dodge Neon and smokes Newports, but he's cooking us with a broken thumb. You know what I mean? Neemias Queta, 27 points and 15 rebounds. They weren't supposed to win the game, but just when you watch a game like this, the way that they actually lost it is wild. You know what I mean? Like, there's no real reason for us to be talking about this game because they're not supposed to win this game and they're supposed to lose this game. But the way they lost it is just like, how did you even do that? How did you even hang around within 9 points the whole time and just fuck up every single time you got it close, dude? Unreal. Absolutely unreal. And I want you to know, they ended the third quarter down by 6, and they scored 15 points in the fourth quarter. You almost have to try to do that on purpose. They got the game within 6 points to end the third, giving every Sixers fan watching false hope. We should have known it was false hope. And when a third quarter ends like that, like I say a lot about the 76ers, right when you think something good happens, right when you think something good is going to happen, the worst thing ever will happen, right? In the grand scheme of things, even if we're talking like a stretch of games during the season where they win 10 in a row or something, or they get up 3-1 in a playoff series, whatever it is, every time you think something good is going to happen, the worst thing imaginable happens. And that theory happened in this game. They end the third quarter down by 6, and we should have known the worst thing imaginable is what's going to happen in the fourth quarter. 15 points in the fourth quarter to lose the game. I just feel like this team isn't even, I feel like it's not real. I feel like they mess with me. I feel like I'm on something similar to the Truman Show. This is all being filmed. It's all being set up. And this is all just to document me losing my mind when it inevitably blows up and does not succeed. It's just wild. It doesn't, games like that it doesn't feel real. It doesn't. Let's talk about it like from the top down, okay? We start the game out. Tyrese Maxey is just a disaster from the start of the game. I don't even understand what his plan was. And I don't care what the broadcast wants to say, and Tyrese ends up with 30 points, and he becomes the whatever player to score 30 with the Sixers since whoever. Yeah, dude. 12 for 34, guys. Guys, hear me. 12 for 34. Okay? He shot 12 field goal attempts. Hold on, let me break it down. In the first quarter, Tyrese Maxey put up 11 field goal attempts. He was 3 for 11 in the first quarter. And I said on Twitter, I was like, Tyrese Maxey's on pace to shoot the ball 40 times. This cannot be your plan. Is this really Nick Nurse's plan? And when you watch him play, you're like, yeah, there's clearly no other plan besides everybody watch Tyrese Maxey try to score 80 points. It feels like they go into practice or pregame, and Nick Nurse literally says, all right, guys, here's our plan. We're going to stand around and watch Tyrese Maxey try to score 80 points. Okay? If he scores 80 points, we will win this game. If Tyrese Maxey does not score 80 points, we will not win this game. He was just chucking shots in the first quarter. 3 for 11. And I don't care. Look, I'm joking about Nick Nurse, I think, right? But Tyrese Maxey, you're a 25-year-old all-star. You've had games where you've had 11, 12 assists. You've had games where you've gotten your teammates involved. You've had games where you facilitated the rock. I don't know what your plan was in this game. I don't understand what you were trying to do. Why would you come out here and shoot the ball 40 times? None of it made any sense. It didn't. It didn't make any sense. And he had a little bit of a run in the third quarter, I think it was, where he started making some shots. They started giving us some hope. But listen, I'm being serious here. You know, if you just look at the stat line and say 33-6 for Tyrese Maxey, he did everything he could. He doesn't have a team around him. I'm usually the one that says that. But what I saw tonight was a terrible, selfish game from Tyrese Maxey. All the way down to that final possession I was talking about, where VJ Edgecombe saves the ball in bounds and kicks a lady in the side of the head. You're down by 6. You rush a floater early in a shot clock, and then you get an offensive rebound. You chuck a contested 3 for no reason. It gets blocked by Neemias Queta. I don't understand what Tyrese Maxey's plan was going into this game, but it was terrible. It was. And the fact that it was like a 10-point game the whole time was blowing my mind, because I'm like, Maxey's playing terrible. We can't rebound. We can't get a loose ball to save our lives. Andre Drummond can't play any defense. I don't know how this isn't a 50-point blowout. I just wanted to say that about Tyrese Maxey in this game. I thought VJ Edgecombe had some moments. I thought, he started the game out hot. It was looking like it might be that like game 1 of the season against the Boston Celtics, where Maxey and VJ went crazy, and VJ had 34 points as the highest debut for a rookie ever, and all those types of things, but it didn't happen. And I'm not letting him off the hook either. He is a 20-year-old rookie, don't get me wrong, but so many unnecessary contested threes. Why? So many unnecessary contested threes. I don't understand it. You know, I went on NBA.com and I went to advanced stats, and I wanted to see screens per game. I'm just trying to see, how stagnant the 76ers offense really is. And the only way I think to do that, maybe you guys know a different way, but I just went to screens per game. Literally, how many screens does a team set per game? The number 1 team in the NBA in that category is the Boston Celtics. The number 10 team is not the Philadelphia 76ers. The number 15 team is not the Philadelphia 76ers. The number 20 team is not the Philadelphia 76ers. And I didn't scroll any farther than that. They're not in the top 20. And it's a ridiculously one-dimensional, stagnant offense. And I don't understand, how this is Nick Nurse's plan. But Nick Nurse has never really had a plan. Again, we can go back to the rosters that he had. The Toronto Raptors, Kawhi Leonard. When you have a team that has enough good players, you can just roll the ball out there and say, hey, guys, go win the game. And they can go win the game. But when you have 1 or 2 great players and a bunch of buyouts and old guys and two-way guys, and you got to use some actual strategy to make some things happen, it's not going to work. I mean, it looks terrible. It really does. Now let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. The 76ers help off of their man. You know what? They don't even help off of their man, dude. Here's the thing. If you're going to double team, then go double team and rotate, right? If it's a planned double team, you double the guy with the ball. The defense rotates so that somebody rotates onto your man. That's not even what they do. They don't double team. They just, for some reason, take 2 steps away from their man at the three-point line every time somebody drives the basketball. They ball watch the entire game. They are so undisciplined. They lack so much fundamentals. I swear, if it comes out one day that the 76ers under Nick Nurse never actually had a practice session, it wouldn't shock me. They have no fundamentals, no basics of the game discipline. Peyton Pritchard drives the lane. His defender's on him. He's guarded. But the guys on the three-point line take 3 steps in watching Peyton Pritchard drive. They're like, are we going to go in and help? Or are we going to, and then they're like, oh, my man's wide open. Bam, 3. You know what I mean? I don't get it. Kelly Oubre in this game. Dude, Kelly Oubre was so bad in this game. Again, I can't figure out how this was a 10-point game the whole time. Because everybody was bad. Kelly Oubre was so bad in this game. I don't understand how he plays defense the way that he does. When I talk about that, taking 2 steps in off the three-point line, ball watching, watch Kelly Oubre next time you watch a Sixers game. He does it every single possession. I saw the Celtics shoot so many wide-open threes with Kelly Oubre running back out to the three-point line. I saw that 15 times in this game at least. And the thing is, why are you running back out to the three-point line? Because you ran into the paint. But why did you run into the paint? For no reason. Just, dude, stay on your man. This is also a team that shares the ball and shoots a lot of threes. How is the coach not like, all right, guys, game plan number 1, stick to your man on the perimeter because they shoot a lot of threes? All they have to do is drive, and everybody walks off the three-point line and leaves everybody wide open, dude. Vucevic wide open, Shireman wide open, Derek White wide open, Sam Hauser wide open, Jaylen Brown wide open. It hurts to watch. It hurts to watch. Which is why I was mad that it was kind of a close game the whole time, because I was not having fun watching the game. And then not just their horrible three-point defense. Why can the Philadelphia 76ers never, ever come up with, number 1, possession of the ball after blocking a shot? They can never get possession of the ball after blocking a shot. It drives me insane. So many times they block a shot. Yeah, good defense. In theory, in basketball logics, possession over, we're going the other way. In the world of the Philadelphia 76ers, oops, they blocked the shot and didn't grab the ball. Now the Celtics have the ball, kick out to Shireman, wide open 3. So wide open, he probably lit up a Newport and remote started his Judge Neon before he shot it. But every time they block a shot, they can't get the ball. And not just block a shot, every time it's an important rebound. Offensive, do bet your life savings. Every time the Sixers make a run, get the game within 5 or 6, and they get a stop, offensive rebound. Every single time. And a lot of times they have position, and it's just a Celtics player just swinging at it. Just tapping it back to the three-point line, offensive rebound. It's so frustrating to watch this team get defensive stops and give up offensive rebounds time and time and time again. I didn't even look at the team stats. Let's look at it. They got out-rebounded by 22. All right? Now, you're playing without Joel Embiid. He's not even a good rebounder in the first place. Andre Drummond is supposed to be a good rebounder. Dembona, you would think would be a decent rebounder for being 6'10" and being able to jump out of the gym. They got out-rebounded by 22. 59-37. That's not just the big guys. When it's a number that drastic, when the difference is that drastic, that's not just the centers getting beat under the glass. That's the entire team getting out-hustled. That's every player in a Boston Celtics uniform trying harder to get the rebound than every player in a 76ers uniform. 59-37. Again, how was this not a 50-point blowout? I don't understand it. And speaking of Andre Drummond, let's go over there because we got to talk about it. Neemias Queta had 27 points and 17 rebounds. But that's a fucking insane stat line for a guy that averages 9 points per game. But in the first half, he had 15 points, 16 points, and 12 rebounds. He had 16 points and 12 rebounds in 16 minutes in the first half. Andre Drummond was getting his ass kicked out there. And remember, last year we were saying Andre Drummond is washed. And Andre Drummond said on Twitter, I was injured. Watch how I come back. Remember, I said something to Andre Drummond on Twitter over the summer. And he was like, sent me like a crying face and was like, wow, it's like that. I got love for Philly. I was hurt all season. Watch how I come back. Bro, you look just as bad. I don't know what you're doing. He said he was riding a bike in the summer to get his conditioning up. I don't know what you're doing, but you don't look conditioned. Neemias Queta was kicking his ass in the whole game, but in the first half of this game, it was ridiculous. And there's a play that I posted on my Instagram stories, at RunItBackPhilly on Instagram, where Neemias Queta gets the ball and Andre Drummond just sticks his arm out and runs past him, wide open dunk. Oh my God, dude. It was 27-17 for Neemias Queta, man. And Adem Bona picked up 3 fouls in 7 minutes in the first half, so I knew I was going to have to watch Andre Drummond, the whole game, basically. But why do teams like the Boston Celtics get so much production out of a player like Neemias Queta? 27, 17, and 3. If he was in a Philadelphia 76ers uniform, he would be literally a Dembona. Dead ass. They just dude, I see 12 coaches sitting over there. I see 12 76ers coaches. When you're watching the game, look behind Nick Nurse and look at how many coaches there are. And when we talk about lack of development and fundamentals and discipline and attention to detail, I just say to myself, what the fuck do all 12 of those guys do? How is there a whole coaching staff and your team looks so uncoached and your players look so underdeveloped? You look at a guy like Jared McCain. He looked washed. Goes to OKC. Oh, he's back. He's shooting 45% from 3. He looks just like rookie Jared McCain. This system is horrible. By the way, at halftime of the Oklahoma City Thunder game, Jared McCain had 9 points off the bench. And at halftime of this game, Quentin Grimes and Cameron Payne had 3 points combined. The development staff, when I watch teams like this, I watch guys like Neemias Queta give them 27 and 17. I'm just so sick of other great organizations, man. I'm so sick of other great organizations being great, man. They get 12 and 4 and a plus 15 out of a dude named Baylor Shireman. Dude, what? Who is that? And I'm not. I saw him last year too, but he went to North Dakota State, guys. He went to North Dakota State. When was he even drafted? This team can just take anybody. Like, to be honest, who the fuck is Jordan Walsh? I'm not exaggerating. This team can that's Charlie Villanueva's cousin, man. This team can take anybody. That's a 2K creative player. This team can take anybody and get production out of them, man. And Kelly Oubre was so bad in this game, dude. 4 points in 34 minutes, 4 rebounds. Look, if you're going to suck at scoring in 34 minutes, at least give me 10 rebounds. At least give me 10 rebounds. 4 points and 4 rebounds in 34 minutes, and some of the worst perimeter defense I've ever seen in my life. Quentin Grimes, the guy that wanted $25 million last year. 5 points in 27 minutes. Quentin Grimes, dude, you suck, dude. You suck. How did I watch you drop 46 against the Houston Rockets last year? You looked like a total scoring machine. And I said to myself, we got a guy coming off the bench that can give us 40? Oh, look how deep we are. And the season goes on and you're giving me 5 points off the bench? 5? Jordan Walsh outscored Quentin Grimes. I wasn't going to yell about this game again because they weren't supposed to win it anyway. But once I started reading the stats, I got really mad. Let's continue with the team stats. How about that? They got out-rebounded 59-37. They gave up 19 offensive rebounds. 19 offensive rebounds. Second chance points, 30. 30 second chance points. This is the stuff I talk about, man. This is the stuff I said. They can't get a loose ball. They can't get an offensive rebound when it matters the most. They can't grab the ball after they block a shot. 30! That means you lost a loose ball or couldn't grab the ball after a block shot at least 15 times. Unfathomable how bad this team is at the fundamentals of basketball. And the thing is, putting Joel Embiid on the floor or Paul George on the floor does not change the fact that they are bad at the fundamentals of basketball. They're bad at the little things, the fine details, and the discipline. They're bad at it. Really bad at it. And so it doesn't matter if everybody's on the floor. You're not winning a 7-game playoff series if you lack such hustle and focus that you give up 30 second chance points in a basketball game, that you give up 19 offensive rebounds, that you get out rebounded 56-37. That's all I got to say about it, man. Is there still people in here? I've just been absolutely screaming for 30 minutes. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me. Sorry I haven't looked at the chat yet. Let's go to the chat, man. But before we do, just hit the like button for me one time for me, watching the games and continuing to do this, and you guys continue to help the channel out by hitting the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. And if you listen to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please hit the follow button over there. That would be greatly appreciated. Philly Talk Podcast, what's up, my guy? Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Shout out to Philly Mike, the king of Eagles content creation. Kelly Oubre costed me thousands. I saw your defensive take on him, but get him. Nehemias Queta versus Drummond was ridiculous. Kelly was just unfathomably terrible in this game. And he, again, when I made fun of his song that he recorded on Instagram, he told me that he listens to the show and that he was a sicko. And so I hope he's still listening to the show. Because, Kelly, if you're driving your car and you're listening to this podcast, I got to tell you things that Nick Nurse won't tell you. Stop leaving your man wide open at the three-point line to walk into the lane for no reason. Fucking guard the three-point line, jackass. And now, who cares? I was going to say now Joel Embiid comes back. Who cares, dude? What are we doing? Man? It's the same thing. It's the same thing every year, man. It's the same thing, dude. What are we doing? I have been putting out some content over on Run It Back NBA. I've been having a lot of fun watching other NBA games, talking about other NBA teams and matchups and narratives, and it makes me happy, honestly. And it's helped me balance this because the Sixers just piss me the fuck off, dude. They just piss me off so much. So it helps me balance it. So go over to Run It Back NBA on YouTube and listen to me talk about some other NBA games sometimes. It's fun, man. NZ for 3, what's up, man? Rebounding is hustle and IQ. Nobody on the team can anticipate where the ball is going, even when it hits the rim. Exactly. I just watched the Knicks beat the Spurs today, and in the fourth quarter, the Knicks destroyed the Spurs on the offensive glass. They had 5 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter, Josh Hart and Karl Anthony Towns. And Josh Hart is so good. I think you commented that on that video on Run It Back NBA. Josh Hart is so good at watching a shot go up and anticipating what direction the ball is going to go in. The 76ers players, they don't even try to anticipate where the ball's going to go. They wait for it to shank off the rim, and then they try to react to it, and they're too late. 19 offensive rebounds. And another thing, Tyrese Maxey had 18 field goal attempts in the first half. And they asked Nick Nurse about it. And he said, I hope he shoots 18 more. I cannot believe the absolute criminal level of lack of strategy. I can't believe it. How are you a championship winning head coach in the NBA and you have this much of a total lack of strategy? We're just going to go out there and Maxey's going to shoot the ball 40 times. We're going to hope he scores 85 points. That's our strategy. Are you guys going to box out? No, probably not. Are you going to have discipline on the perimeter against a good three-point shooting team and not leave guys wide open all day? No, probably not. Are you going to overhelp? Yes. Are you going to come up with some loose balls? Probably not. I don't know, man. Again, the reason why you might need to use your ad for your well-being. Yeah, I need to use Bright Medical. No, to be honest with you guys, and I know you're joking. I think you're joking. But if anybody actually thinks, that I'm not doing well, you're wrong. I'm doing great. I'm very healthy. I eat clean. I work out 6-7 days a week. Lifting, cycling. I'm absolutely obsessed with physical fitness. It is almost my entire life. And I have a 10-year-old son and a loving girlfriend and a house and a car, and my life is wonderful. This 1 hour of me yelling about the 76ers is not real. It's just not real. I watch the game, I yell at the 76ers, and then I go back to my wonderful life. To be totally honest with you guys. But if I didn't lift weights and work out, I probably would be a little more frustrated. I think I'd get my frustration out like that. Brandon, thank you for the super chat. Give Embiid rage serum from Kensington to heal him. We can't give him rage. Wait, what do you mean by rage serum? Because the stuff they're doing in Kensington is not rage serum. Stuff they're doing in Kensington is the opposite of rage. It makes you go like this. It makes you stand still for 48 hours. That's called heroin. That's what that is. Rage serum would be like, steroids or testosterone or something like that. If you give Embiid what they're taking up in Kensington, he'll move even less than he does in the paint. Glad to know you're not on the ledge, bro. It's just basketball. It's just basketball. I know. You guys don't see the rest of my life, so you only see me yelling about the 76ers. So like the way your mind perceives it is that like I'm that guy and all I do is yell about the 76ers, but it's really 1 hour out of my 24-hour day. And it's only like once every 2 days, unless there's a back-to-back, which I hate, by the way. Dead Stu, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Yogi Bear, I love the Sixers, but it's baffling how often opposing players deliver season-best performances against them. Donovan Mitchell, Neemias Queta, LeBron James, Chet Holmgren. Oh, yeah, this season we made LeBron James look like vintage LeBron. Remember that game against the Lakers? He went nuts in the fourth quarter. Neemias Queta has a career night. They were calling it Queta night. I remember one time Gabe Vincent with the Miami Heat had a career high against the 76ers and didn't break his career high until 1 year later against the 76ers. And then he went on to disappear forever. I think he plays for the Lakers. But yeah, we love... It's a career night... It's the career night sweepstakes when you play for the 76ers, man. Who's going to have a career night? Maybe you should name change your NBA channel because of the Run It Back show on TV. Absolutely not. For those that don't know, I started Run It Back Philly in 2019, and FanDuel started Run It Back TV or whatever it's called years after that. I had the Run It Back name first. I'm never giving it up. They can kiss my ass. And that Run It Back NBA YouTube channel that I started, that's cooking right now, is about to do more views than FanDuel Run It Back NBA on YouTube. And then you'll be telling them, hey, maybe you should change your name because this guy DJ Eastwood has Run It Back NBA and he's blowing you out of the water with the views. You know what I mean, man? You don't give in. You don't give in to FanDuel and DraftKings. You don't let the man win. No, hell no, bro. Are you planning on streaming a couple playoff games? I'm going to be honest with you guys. The streaming the games was taking up so much of my time, and it's just draining. It really is, man. I'm not going to lie to you. It was fun, but it's just draining. It's too much Sixers for me, man. It's too much camera, talking on the mic for a 2.5 hour, 3 hour game, and then doing the 1 hour post-game live show. It's way too much streaming for me personally. It takes too much out of me, and I'm a lot happier just watching the game in silence and then giving my thoughts on the game afterwards. And I think my energy on the post game is better. I think my thoughts are clearer, and that's what's best for my personal. That's what's best for me personally. And then doing the other NBA channel. This is the best system, I think. I think I've come up with the best system, which is what I'm doing right now. Yeah. And plus then, you guys gotta wait for my thoughts, Like a lot of times I would do a whole 3 hour stream and then some people don't go to the post-game live show because they just heard everything I wanted to say during the stream, you know what I mean? Just to lose, exactly. Do you think Beauchamp should get minutes? Absolutely. I think Beauchamp should get minutes. He just dropped 40 points in a G League game today, I think, or yesterday. But it's Nick Nurse. It's not going to happen. If you think Nick Nurse is going to give a guy like Beauchamp enough minutes to get comfortable in the NBA, it's to keep dreaming. Not going to happen. But realistically, look. Unfortunately, this team is going nowhere. the Joel Embiid thing, he'll come back and he'll be solid for 7 games again, and then he'll get hurt again. It's just we're so used to it. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not saying it's his fault. He just can't stop getting hurt. What makes us think this team is going to do something in the playoffs? It's crazy. And what are they going to do? Answer me this in the chat. I asked this on Twitter earlier today. Answer me this in the chat. If the 76ers lose in the first or second round of the playoffs this year, and Joel Embiid was in and out of the lineup, what do they do in the offseason? What are they going to do in the offseason? And I asked this last year, right? And people said, well, they're going to blow it up in the offseason. And we thought this was the time they were going to fire everybody and change the whole thing over. And they sat back and said, no, we're actually going to run it back, guys. We're going to run it back. We're going to, listen, last year everyone was hurt. All right? And last year they were like, listen. I mean, this year they were like, listen, last season everybody was hurt. We just couldn't get all our guys on the floor together. So this season's going to be different. And this season, we're right back here again. You still can't get all your guys on the floor. It's the same thing. How are you going to go into another offseason and say, nah, we're going to run it back? I think we're going to run it back again, guys. For 2 years in a row, we just couldn't get everyone on the floor. But I think we're going to run it back again. How's that possible? How's that possible? Open up the floor, build shooters around Maxey and VJ. Exactly. That would be nice, right? Some of these lineups are insane. The amount of non-shooters on the floor, When Maxey and VJ are out there and the other 3 guys are like Kelly Oubre, Dominic Barlow, and Andre Drummond. Those are 3 non-shooters. How many times am I going to watch the 76ers in 2026 have 3 non-shooters on the floor when every other NBA team has 5 shooters on the floor? How many times am I going to watch this team do the opposite of what the rest of the NBA is doing? Every year they do the opposite of what the rest of the NBA is doing. That's what's so frustrating about this team, is that now you're locked into Joel Embiid until 2029 and Paul George until 2028. So you're going into these playoffs basically knowing nothing good is going to happen. But you can't even go into an offseason and be excited because nothing can happen. Nobody's going to trade for Joel Embiid, who's getting paid $62 million a year to play 30 games a year and can't get him out of a playoff series. Nobody's definitely trading for Paul George, who's being paid $50 million a year and is averaging 16 points per game. He's being outperformed by Tobias Harris, which is funny because that's the guy we replaced him with. So you can't trade either of them. So a third of your salary, 2/3 of your salary, 60% of your salary is tied up in 2 guys that can't stay on the floor until 2029. My bigger question is, how long does Tyrese Maxey exactly? Thank you, Sturdy. You just read my mind. My bigger question is, how long does Tyrese Maxey and Rich Paul sit around and let this franchise waste the prime years of his career? How long? It doesn't make sense. Tyrese Maxey is 25, right? How old is Tyrese Maxey?
Tyrese Maxey is 25 years old.
Tyrese Maxey is 25. He's an NBA superstar. How long does him and his agent let this franchise waste of his career? He'll be in his absolute prime, at 27, 28, 29 years old. You can't sit here for 3 more years trying the same thing because you have these bad contracts. You need to move forward and build the team around Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. And I want to let you know, I think VJ Edgecombe is going to be a star in the NBA. It's going to take 3 or 4 years. But you have to, at least we can look at VJ and say, he'll be just entering the start of his prime by the time this Embiid Paul George era is over. But you can't waste 3 more years of Tyrese Maxey's career. This is the second season in a row you sent him out there with a rookie, a bunch of 40-year-old buyouts, and a bunch of two-way G League players, and told him to go win games. This is the second year in a row Tyrese Maxey's had to do this. How many years is Tyrese Maxey and Rich Paul going to sit around and receive this treatment by the 76ers organization? If it was a different agent, I wouldn't be as worried. But you're very close to the call coming in from Tyrese Maxey's management saying, hey, we want to be traded. You guys aren't doing anything for my client's career. You're wasting time, and we want to be traded. And again, people that don't understand, some people will tune in and just be like, bro, why are you so mad? You expected them to beat the Celtics without Embiid? They just don't get it. It's not even that. I'm not even mad that they lost this game. It's not even that. There's so much more. Hey, man, listen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again. There is 336 people in here. Give me 336 likes on the stream. Listen to the post-game shows on Apple Podcasts and Spotify if you just enjoy me crashing out lately. There's been some very positive podcast episodes this season, but it is all coming crashing down. It's all coming crashing down very fast. Let's just go to the standings real quick, I guess, before we get out of here, man. Let's go over to the standings, see where we're at, man. Let's go to the standings and see where we're at. Where the hell are the standings at? Stats, schedule, NBA standings. NBA standings. All right, Eastern Conference. The Philadelphia 76ers still hanging on in 6th place, barely avoiding the play-in tournament. The Orlando Magic are 1.5 games behind currently as they just lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder. No, the Detroit Pistons tonight. We're still avoiding the play-in for now. But the schedule's not looking too great here. What'd they do? They lost 4 in a row to Portland, New York, Atlanta, and New Orleans. Then they won 3 in a row. The Minnesota win was a big one, but Minnesota was playing without any centers. Indiana is Indiana, and we had Joel Embiid on the floor, I believe, there. We beat Miami. I think we had Joel for that one, too. But they've lost 5 out of their last 8. They lost 6 out of their last 10. 4 and 6 in their last 10. Then we got San Antonio on Tuesday. That's a beatdown. I mean, what are we even? Why are we even going to step onto the floor? Why are we going to step onto the floor with that one? The Knicks shut down Wemby for the most part today, but it took Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart and everybody playing bully ball. I don't think the 76ers have the personnel to slow down Victor Wembanyama, and he's going to score 75 points in the paint. Then you got Utah. Utah could be a win, but you never know. They got a lot of talent. They did put everybody out for this season, basically. So the tank is officially on for Utah after they got fined by the NBA They were like, all right, we're not allowed to rest players, and everybody's out for the season. So everybody's out for Utah. So maybe they can win that one. Atlanta, it's not an easy one now. Atlanta, that's not an easy one. Atlanta has won how many games in a row since making the Jonathan Kuminga trade? How many? They lost 3, but I don't think Kuminga played in those games. And Atlanta has won 5 of their last, and that's without Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga had 27 points against Washington. He had another 20-point game today and a big windmill dunk on a fast break. He's really out there making Steve Kerr look like a jackass. But Atlanta is not an easy win. Who else we got? Cleveland, of course, is not an easy win. Memphis should be, but you never know. Detroit's not an easy win. Dude, I don't know if the Sixers avoid the play-in tournament, man. I don't know. I don't know if they avoid the play-in tournament. Denver, Sacramento, Utah, OKC, Chicago, Charlotte, Miami, Washington, Minnesota, Detroit, Look at this run at the end of the season. Minnesota, Detroit, San Antonio, Houston. Oh, my God. I don't know, man. I know I do this podcast but the past couple of years, it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy to care about this team the past couple of years, man. VJ Edgecombe's ceiling, is talent right now is unbelievable at 20 years old. His work ethic and his mindset is incredible for player development. He's going to work hard. He's going to work on his game every single offseason. And if he's this good at 20 years old, the ceiling for VJ Edgecombe is NBA superstar, face of the league 6 years from now. You know, there is no ceiling for VJ Edgecombe. If you think about how good Anthony Edwards is, and he's a jackass, you know what I mean? Anthony Edwards is amazing, and he's a dumb fuck. VJ Edgecombe has the potential to be as good as Anthony Edwards, but a smart person. Oh, man. That's all I got.